Gear Whore, the AV Slut.
Recording? Alright, we're rolling, people. Welcome to another episode of Gear Whore. This is Gustavo Adolfo Uribe, taking a sip of scotch and lemonade. Like, I'm trying to make a whiskey sour, but it didn't really come out good. But it's getting the job done. Fuck it. Okay, whatever. So on this episode right here, I'm going to tell you why the truth about Micro Four Thirds cameras, specifically the GH4 and other ones that are, Micro Four Thirds, and why I'm not buying a GH5. And this is a hard video for me to make. I'm shooting this right now on the kit lens. What is it? The 14 to 140. And I'm in my room. It's kind of low lit and it's kind of hard. And I got these fucking cheap ass LED lights right here. And I got these other room lights. And it's on like AFS, autofocus, if you're wondering. Because when I'm watching YouTubes, I'm always wondering, well, what the camera are they doing? And then sometimes they do reviews and they don't shoot it on the camera that they're reviewing, and it's kind of fucking annoying. But whatever, fuck it. Full disclosure. Let me take another sip of this shit, because this is a hard video for me to make. Why am I shooting this video? Okay. I've been losing a lot of sleep over this shit. And you may be wondering, like, damn, Cholo, you got first world problems, Cholo, if you're losing sleep over about a fucking camera. Well, yes, I do. And it's my passion. It's a dream of mine to shoot music videos and other video content. And I got this GH4 to do that, to shoot my music videos and other artists' music videos along the way. And I got it because it was affordable, and from all the reviews and all the all the intel that I gathered was that, it was a great camera, man. Shoot slow motion. I wanted to do slow motion. You could adapt all kinds of lenses to it. I was like, that sounds good. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, but that sounded pretty good to me. And then it had good like battery life. That sounds good. Very rugged, reliable. That sounds good to me. Check. So I'm like, fuck it. I got it. It's on credit card, so paying that shit off. Whatever. Let me take another sip of this. This is a very difficult video to make, so it's good. But let me get to the point. So what's the truth about Micro Four Thirds? Well, I've had this camera for like maybe a year or some shit like that. Shot a lot of shit with it. I ended up getting a Made of Bones speed booster for Nikon G mount. G mount, not the F mount. This is a G mount, because I think they have an F mount, but this is a G mount specifically for old ass non-AI lenses. And yeah, it doesn't work on the G mount. Trust me, I tried. I went to the Samy's camera in the local Santa Barbara, and I was trying to check it out, and the guy was like, "No, you just need a G mount." Like, no, you don't, asshole. I want the fucking, or not the F mount. I want the G mount, because I looked it up online, and they didn't. I was like trying to test it out on my lenses, and sure enough, dude, the F mount didn't work. You gotta get the G mount for these non-AI lenses. And the reason why I got these non-AI lenses was because they're cheap and they're built very well. They have manual focus, so I was like, oh shit, these are good for video. And I was looking online on YouTube, and I like the way they look on the YouTube videos that I saw. So I was like, damn, so I went gung-ho and I bought the whole fucking set, right? Like from 20 millimeters to 100 or some fucking shit like that. And I'll do another video about that, because I really like them. But the fucking Made of Bones was like $600 or some shit. But when I went to the Sammy's camera, they couldn't find it, because it was like so rare, right? It's like, who's gonna buy this shit? It's like specifically for non-AIs on GH4s, right? And they couldn't find it, but they had an open box, and I was like, well, sell me that one, Cholo. Sell me that one, Cholo. He's like, well, let me see if I have any in the back. And I was like, fuck that shit. So they couldn't find it, and I was like, they sold that shit to me. They sold that shit to me for like $300 or something, So shout out to Sammy's camera. And I even got I found the kit lens over there, or not a kit lens. I found the zoom lens over there that was like 43 to 86 Nikon 9 non-AI, and they sold that shit to me for like $15. Sammy's camera. Cheers, baby. Anyways, the point is, so why am I making this video? The point is because this, man. This is the truth about about micro four thirds. That going into video production, I didn't really know what the fuck I was doing. I was new to it, and I wanted something affordable so I can start making videos, specifically music videos. And if you're watching this and you're considering getting a GH4 or another micro four thirds camera to shoot videos, you might find this helpful. You probably already know this information if you've been watching other videos, but basically the micro four thirds are not good in low light, and it's hard to get wide angle shots. All right, and the reason that is because of the fucking micro four thirds sensor. So the sensor where it picks up the light is smaller than other cameras, and then there's APS, which is a little bit bigger, and then there's the full frame, which is bigger than that, right? And the thing is, the bigger the sensor, the more light it's able to capture. Hence, let me take a fucking drink because I just said a fucking English word from England. So, anyways, hence that the bigger the sensor, the more light it's able to capture, and hence it would be better in low light, and it's easier to get wide angle shots because the sensor matches the actual lenses. Right? This is a regular full frame lens. This manual Nikon non-AI, right? So, anyways, so here's the thing. When I was researching cameras, and I was like, man, I want to get the GH4 because it shoots slow motion. It does every fucking thing in the book, right? And the other cameras that were full frame didn't do that shit. Like, I was looking at a fucking Canon C100. I was like, damn. I was like jacking off of that camera, but it didn't even do like slow motion. And if it did, it was like maybe one version. I don't know. But it was like, damn, that was like $5,000 at the time. And I'm like, damn, I don't got that kind of money, man. And honestly, man, like that shit's pretty fucking expensive. And then you start to buy the lenses, and that's like another grand and another grand and another grand. And I'm like, damn, Cholo, I just don't have that budget right now. I'm like, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a cheaper way. And yeah, and the other thing is that's not what I liked about the GH4 was that you can take pictures. So it's like, okay, well, let's say like I need to do a photo shoot or like take a quick picture, a real nice looking picture, professional looking picture. I can do that with the GH4, and then with the C100, it's like that's a camera, that's a video camera, so I can't do that. So I was like, man, well, it looks like the GH4, man. I could. It's more versatile, and it's just I knew that it was a micro four thirds sensor, so it was gonna be a crop, and I was like, all right, fuck it, whatever, because I didn't know, right? But now looking back at it, and it's a really great camera, and I love the GH4, and shout out to Panasonic for making it. I might need some booze pretty soon, a refill of more booze. But the point is that it's like the best camera in the world. Really is, because it could do anything. It could do anything. The problem is that it's a micro four thirds sensor. And for all you homies out there like whacking it to the GH4s or thinking about getting a GH5 when it comes out, or thinking about a G7 or a G85 or any other micro four thirds sensor camera, The benefits is that it's lightweight, it's versatile, and it could do anything more value than most of the other cameras that are larger frames are. And GH4 can even shoot 4K. But here's the truth. This is why I'm making this video. Here's the fucking truth. If you've been watching it, thank you for watching. It's been like 10 minutes, 30 seconds. So thanks for hanging in there, because I rant, but I like to give it a raw. Raw, no rubber, baby. On camera. Oh, yeah, that doesn't sound right. Alright, whatever. Fuck it. No editing. But the thing is that it's a micro four thirds sensor. So when you start shooting with this shit, in low light, you're like, fuck, I need more light. I need more light. And you might be thinking, well, duh, yeah, you need more light, asshole. That's fucking no-brainer. But here's the practical shit about it. This is the truth about it. In low light, you need more light. So, like, in practical terms, you need more light. Here's the thing about light, bro. More light means that you gotta set it up. You know, you gotta set it up or whatever. But then that means it's like it starts to get hot. It starts to get hot. So it's like, think about it. If you have a camera that's already full frame or whatever, and you set up the same light shot or the same light setup, the micro four thirds is gonna need more light than that, right? So you crank up the lights or whatever, but then think about it as an actor, right? Because I get in front of the camera too, right? It starts to get hot. It starts to get hot, man, and you're like, I don't know if if you've seen some of the videos that I have, like specifically this kit lens that I have. It's like, dude, like you start to, I'm sweating, baby. I'm sweating, and I'm always sweating when I'm going hard, but you know what I'm saying, like I'm going hard, I'm sweating, and you see me like just sweating. And it's like, I don't have money for a makeup person. I don't even like wearing makeup, Cholo. So like, and I know like in video world, it's common to wear makeup in front of the camera. But I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't really like that shit, because you could see when somebody's wearing makeup. I mean, unless you're a girl or some shit, then that's cool. But for a guy, I mean, if that's the way if you like wearing makeup, that's good for you. But like for me, I don't like wearing makeup, and you can see it when somebody's wearing makeup. And it's supposed to look better on camera, but to me it doesn't look better on camera. It looks like you're wearing makeup. You know what I'm saying? Keeping it real, keeping it real. But that's for the lights, right? So it doesn't like get all crazy reflection or whatever. But the point is, it gets hot. I'm sweating, right? And I don't want to wear makeup and shit. And that's a pain in the ass. The other pain in the ass is that the wide angles, right? So when I'm trying to do wide angle shit, it's very difficult to get a wide angle. And you could, the band-aid is that you get better lenses, right? More expensive lenses that are, but if you get a lens that's below f2, in my opinion, that's good on the micro four thirds, because it lets in more light, obviously. And then the wider it is, then the more when the crop gets it, it's less of a thing, right? But here's the thing, and this is the truth about this shit, is that I wrote this shit down. Watch, I wrote this shit down. That I did the fucking math, right? And I was watching. I watch a lot of shit on YouTube and on the internet, trying to figure out like, what is this person saying? What is that person saying? What is that? And trying to figure it out, right? And there was this homie, Tony Chelsea, I don't remember, but he's like a famous YouTube guy who does tutorials, and he was saying that when you are factoring in the crop factor for micro four thirds or ASC or whatever, not only do you have to double it by the crop factor, but you also have to double it with the f-stop. And if you're watching this and you already know, then you're cool. But if you don't know, I didn't know this shit, but you have to factor it in with the f-stop. So in other words, because when you buy a lens and it says like 1 point, let's just say it says 2, right? F2, right? No. Let me make a better example. Let's say you buy a real nice lens for micro four thirds, and it says, oh, it's a 1.2, right? It's a 1.2. But the truth of the matter is, yes, it's a 1.2. Or even if you had a bigger lens or a full frame lens that said 1.2, it'd be like, oh, yeah, that's fucking crazy. But the truth of the fucking shit, which I'm telling you on this video, is that you have to multiply it by 2. Because the micro four thirds crops by 2, right? So if you have a lens that, let's say, hypothetically, it's 50 millimeters, and it's f2, right? Which is good. I actually have that, right? I actually have that. But when you factor in the micro four thirds shit, it acts like a one. It behaves as a 100 millimeters, right? 50 times 2, 100 millimeters, and the f-stop f2 times 2. So it's actually behaves like an f4. Which sounds kind of crazy. Like, what, Cholo? Like, are you sure your math is right? Maybe the math isn't right, but in practicality, yeah, it's right. Because think about it, man. You got less of a sensor, meaning you got less of the light. Meaning, hence, motherfucker, let me take another sip of this shit because I'm gonna need another one. Sounds good. You need to multiply that shit because you need more light to get the same effect or behavior as a full frame a sensor, right? That's why like shout out to that homie that made that video, because at first I was sipping the Kool-Aid. I was like, no, this guy's not right, but no, he's right, he's actually right. And a shout outs to that guy. I think Tony Chelsea, I don't know, the guy is like, I don't know, kind of Asian, white looking with the silver hair. Shout outs to the homie. I'm not making fun of you. I want to thank you because you're telling it like it is, and more people need to tell it like it is. Stop sipping the fucking Kool-Aid. Tell it like it is, right? So anyways, what's my point, right? Okay. So here's what I'm trying to tell you guys watching this video is that when you're trying to do a wide angle shot with this camera, micro four thirds, you're gonna struggle. And you can say, oh well, just step back further. Yeah, you can do that and that works, whatever. But that's still unpractical. You could say, add more light. Yeah, but sometimes you don't have more light. Or if you add more light, you're gonna the homie, your actor, is gonna start sweating, Cholo. Start sweating. The other thing, what was I gonna say? So there's the crop factor, right? And let's say for all you homies out there that are watching this shit, you're like, well, you said you had a Meta Bones, you had a speed booster. Doesn't that shit help? Not really, man. And I'll tell you why. Anything above a 28 millimeter on a full frame, I would say that this camera is good. Bam, it's good. And especially for telephoto shit, it even has more of an edge, right? But for wide angles, it starts to become critical. Under that, when you start to get that wide angle range, 28 millimeters and lower, it starts to become critical. And I'm gonna do a fucking formula right here that I did premeditated. So you can understand what the hell I'm saying, right? Hold up. Just bear with me here. I got a stylus. My mom was like, man, you look like you were in the fucking 90s. I'm like, shut up. Shit, I like this. Anyways, whatever. Hold on here. So for example, right? You get here's a real life example. I got a 50 millimeter f2, right? On this shit with the Meta Bones, if I'm recording HD, it becomes a 64 millimeter, because that's 2 times 0.64, right, which is the Meta Bones, times 50, So, in other words, 2 is the crop factor times 0.64, which is the meta bones, times 50, which is the millimeter of the lens, right? So that comes out to a crop factor of 1.28 times 50. Alright? I'm not going to get it all fancy editing. Fuck the fancy shit. Just listen to what I'm saying. 1.28 times 50, which is the millimeter, it becomes a 64 millimeter, right? The 50 millimeter with the meta bones is going to become a 64 millimeter. Now, it's not a big deal when you're shooting on that type of range, right? Mid-shots and close-ups. But the f-stop becomes a 2.56, which is still good, right? And I realized that that's my favorite lens on the lenses that I have on the Nikon. That's one of my favorite lenses. The other my favorite lens is the 20 millimeter. Now this, I'm gonna do another video on Nikon non-AI, but I really like the look of it. It's creamy. It's over the top, luscious. I like it. Whatever. You don't have to like it. That's up to you. But that 20 millimeter, I got that shit because I was like, damn, Cholo, like, I need something really, really, really wide because the crop factor, right? Now, when I apply that shit, that 1.28 times the 20, it becomes 25.6 millimeters. 25.6 millimeters, right? At a 4.48 f-stop, because it's a 3.5 f-stop, but it becomes a 4.48. Hold on, let me just double check that shit. Yeah, it's a 3.5. I don't know if you can see that shit, but 3.5. Hold on. And it becomes a 4. And it becomes a, where was I? 4.48. And now I'm gonna use my calculator just to make sure I'm not fucking this shit up, right? So it's gonna be 1.28 times the f-stop, which is 3.5, right? So 1.28. Hold on a second. Wait. Hold on. Where's the fucking calculator? Where's the calculator on this shit? Oh, here we go. Okay. So 1.28 times 3.5 equals, yeah, 4.48. I don't know if you can see this shit or what, but that's what it is. 4.48 f-stop. That's not that good, bro. Not that good when you start to get into micro four thirds line, because you think about it. It becomes a 4.48 f-stop. Because the sensor's so small, that is a problem. That's a problem, man. That's a problem, dude. So where am I going with this? Oh, but here it is. And you might be saying like, okay, well, that's not too bad. A 50 millimeter becomes a 64 millimeter, and a 20 millimeter becomes a 25.6 millimeter. That's still pretty wide, right? But here's the truth. More truth, baby. Because I'm just giving you nothing but the truth, like a good man. A few good men. Anyways, whatever. But here's the thing, is that they don't tell you that. They do tell you, but you don't really realize until you use it, right? The 4K mode, because everybody's like, oh, well, the GH4's got a 4K or whatever, and even my big fucking DSLR doesn't have 4K, and fuck the shit, I can la chingada. But they crop it even more. So with the 4K, instead of a 2 crop times 2, it's a 2.3 crop. So what that means is that my 50 millimeters is going to be a 73.6 millimeter with a 2.944 f-stop. That's 1.472. Well, anyways, yeah, 73.6 millimeter with a 2.944 f-stop, and a 20 millimeter will become now a 29.44 millimeter with a 5.152 f-stop. All right. So that's pretty crazy, bro. That's pretty crazy, bro. That's pretty crazy because that 20 millimeter, if you're shooting in 4K, is gonna behave like a 30 millimeter, and a 30 millimeter is above a 28 millimeter. So it stops behaving like a fucking wide angle lens, which is what it's meant to be, a wide angle lens. A 28 millimeters and lower, you're starting to get to wide angle territory. But if that 20 millimeters is starting to act like a 30 millimeters in 4K, what's the point of shooting in 4K? I said it. What's the point of shooting in 4K? Oh, you got higher resolution. Well, I can't use my goddamn wide angle lenses. What am I supposed to do? Put a fucking fisheye on this motherfucker? Then it just, the lens isn't acting like it's supposed to act, bro. Because if then you start getting a fisheye, then it's going to be a higher f-stop, and it's going to be worse in low light. You see what I'm saying here? And then you get like, okay, so let's say you say, all right, Gustavo, you got a point, like, okay, the crop factor starts to become critical in wide angles. Now let me put it to you another way, Cholo. Like right now I'm using a kit lens, right? And that's a 4.5 f-stop to 8, and it goes 14 millimeters to 140. So essentially, if you double that, that is a 28 millimeter to a 280 millimeter. But it's not a 4.5 f-stop. It's double that shit. It's a 9 f-stop. It's behaving like that because of the fucking sensor. Because of the fucking sensor is what I'm trying to tell you guys. So that's why it's so bad in low light. That's why it's like, even if you get into the wide angle range, you need to go really, really, really good f-stop. So in order for it to work in the wide angle range, you need something that is below an f2, and that's 14 millimeters or less, right? Because 14 times 2 is going to be 28. So you need something below 14 millimeters, below f2, for it to look like quality, right? Because when you double it, that f2 is going to become an f4. I have a 20 millimeter right here that was made in 1960 some shit, or 70 or 80 some shit. That's a 3.5. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying here? Now there's so what I'm trying to tell you is that to get that wide angle low light equivalent, behavioral equivalent, you need some really specific lenses that are specific for micro four thirds, or maybe ACS, that you can adapt. And there are popular lenses out there that can do that, but then you have to make compromises, like, well, they don't have autofocus, and they are for specifically micro four thirds, or ACS, and you're gonna have to spend around 500 plus bucks just for that fucking range. But it's just like, if you're spending 500 bucks, and this is my opinion, right? If you're spending 500 bucks, then you might as well get or 500 to 1,000 bucks. If you spent that same money on a full frame lens, it's like you're gonna get more quality, right? Because you're gonna get you can get autofocus capability, you can get just like amazing fucking quality. It's like, to get the same quality, you're gonna have to fork up the money, a lot of money. Like there's this one lens for the Panasonic GH4. It's like a 12 millimeter 1.2, I believe, which is a really nice lens, but it's like $1,200. And I was looking at that lens and I was like, I really want that lens. I really need that lens, but it's $1,200. I don't know, man. I mean, on a full frame lens, that's not a big deal, but think about it. Like, why did you buy a fucking Micro Four Thirds camera, right? Because you wanted to save some money. So the truth is, it's like, the Micro Four Thirds, dude, it's like, it sounds good on paper, but then when you actually use it, you realize, man, like, for wide angle shit or really low light shit, it starts to become impractical. You can get better lenses for it, but you're gonna have to fork up some dough. Which brings me to the crossroads. This is where the crux of this video. Now I'm going on YouTube and I'm trying to research this shit, but I want to shoot shit that is in lower light that I can get wider angles. And I'm at the crossroads where it's like, well, should I buy these fucking lenses, expensive lenses that are for that specifically, or should I get another camera that can handle that shit? Because even if you get these other lenses that are specific for those Micro Four Thirds crops, it still doesn't behave like a larger sensor. In other words, the image quality on a Micro Four Thirds and a full frame is still different. You can emulate it and you can get real close, but it's still different, man, because you have to make adjustments. You have to go either further away and use further away more. It's like further away more light, further away more light. So you have to compensate. And it's just like, well, do you really want to invest in all these fucking lenses for a Micro Four Thirds body when the GH4 is really not that good in autofocus? I mean, it's okay, but it's like, compared to the shit that I seen on YouTube with like the Sony ones, it's just like and the Panasonic is like it's like, do you really want to like pay for that shit? I mean, I don't know. So here's my final thought, and I'm gonna wrap it up because I need to get more booze and I ran out of fucking drinky drink. I love the GH4, and it does everything that I want it to do except shoot wide angles and shoot good well in low light. And for me, those are becoming things that I really want to do in music videos and in other video projects that I have in the works. I got this project in the works that I'm thinking I need a running gun camera that can handle that shit. And the C100, which is like a dedicated video camera, is too expensive for me, man. I can't afford that shit. Even if I get it used, it's still gonna be like $2,200 or $3,300, some shit like around there. And it's just like, damn, Cholo, like, I'm not, and then plus you factor in the lenses and shit, and that's another $1,000, that's another $2,000. It's like, dude, Cholo, like, I'm trying to get this money. I'm not trying to fucking be broke all my life, man. I just, you know what I'm saying? I have a vision of what I want to do in my head to make these projects, but it's like the Micro Four Thirds is still, it's not worth it. Is what I'm trying to tell you. It's not worth it if you need wide angles and low light capabilities. If you're gonna use it just like easy shit, like well lit interviews, or like shit that's above 28 millimeters, then it's like the perfect thing. It's the perfect thing since sliced bread, which it is. And if you want to invest in better lenses to get those wide angle shots and low light shots, then that's great. It's like the perfect camera. But I'm just like, damn, Cholo, like, like, I got these wide angle got a fucking 20 millimeter, a 20 millimeter, and I got this shit on eBay, and I think I spent like 150 or 200 bucks or some shit, which is a lot of money for me, because I wanted that fucking wide angle fucking shot. I wanted some of that fucking Akira Kurosawa type fucking wide angle shit, and it's able to do that. And I'm willing to compromise on the autofocus with manual lens to do that. And I love the quality that has. It's a very dreamy, vintage look. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that, man. And I'm cool with fucking manual focus. Whatever, bro. But I can't fucking implement that shit to its potential is what I'm trying to say, man. Unless it's 28 and up. I mean, if you're doing portraits or you're doing fucking telephoto, I mean, fuck, just get, you know. So, where I'm at right now is I'm trying to find a solution to complement this camera. Because I still love this camera, and I need two cameras so I could do two-shot stuff. Because I got a lot of projects to have that. But I'm thinking, well, maybe I could use a GH4 as the B cam to do close-ups or mid-range shit. Because at first I was thinking of using it as an A cam and getting maybe like a G7, but I'm like thinking, well, no, I'm still handicapped, bro. I'm still handicapped. Doesn't make sense for me. So yeah, I mean, you could all, like I said, you can get a better glass, that to use with that, and I'm sure a lot of people on the fucking comments are like, yeah, man, well, just use this lens, just use this lens. But my point is, it's like, if you're gonna spend X amount of money, let's say it takes $500 to $1,000 to $15,000, so $500 to $15,000 to fix this fucking problem. What is the best solution to fix this fucking problem? Is what I'm trying to say. What is the most cost-effective, better plan to fix this fucking problem? And when the GH5 comes out, it's probably gonna have, better autofocus, which I'm assuming. It's gonna have better low light capabilities, maybe like 1 or 2 stops better. And it's gonna have image stabilization in camera, I'm assuming. And it's going to be a better GH4, which is what it's supposed to do. And that's great. That's fucking great. But here's the thing. It's still going to be micro four thirds. And you're still going to have the fucking problem of wide angle shots and low light. Like, it's not the fucking same as a bigger sensor. You have to work harder for that shit on that range. And it starts to become critical. Below 28 millimeters, it's becoming critical. And, maybe I'm full of shit. But with my experience with this shit, and I've had it like a year or two, I don't fucking remember, but that's my experience. So thanks for watching. I know it's been a long video, but I wanted to get this off my chest. And I'm looking for options. I'm looking for the next option. I'm not going to sell my GH4. I love the camera. It's a great camera. But, I need something that is going to work in that scenario. And I'm cool. If I have 2 cameras, that's cool, man. I take, one camera for the wide shots and one camera for the close-ups. That's cool. I don't care. But, it makes you think, dude. It's like, well, you're saving money with the micro four thirds, but are you really saving money? I don't know. 4K is cool, but it's just like, well, shit. I mean, if everything I shoot in 4K has to be like fucking, close-ups, starts to become a fucking problem. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for watching Gear Horror. That's it. That's all I got. Cut.